Hello, and welcome to Kim Reads as we continue with Addy Learns a Lesson, Chapter 5, The Spelling Match. Next morning, Addy and Sarah walked most of the way to school in silence. Finally, Addy asked, "You angry with me?" "I ain't angry," Sarah said. They walked the rest of the way to school without talking. As soon as they arrived, Addy hurried to her desk. Harriet was already sitting there. "My mama said I could come to your house to study," Addy said happily. "Really?" Harriet said. She sounded cool. "I'm sure you have lots of studying left to do, but I don't really need to study anymore." "I've been studying real hard," Addy said. "We could really help each other." "Well, maybe," Harriet said. All day, Addy felt jumpy with excitement. She couldn't keep her mind on her work. She kept thinking about the fine house Harriet must have, filled with dolls and other toys. Maybe Harriet would let her play with them this afternoon. When the day was over, Sarah came up to Addy. You ready to walk home?" she asked. "Well, I'm walking with Harriet," Addy said. "I'm going to her house." "Fine," Sarah said flatly. "Go with her. I don't care." Her voice did not waver this time. She turned away from Addy. "Sarah," Addy began, but Harriet's friends surrounded her. The girls dumped their books in Addy's arms again. They were every bit as heavy as the water bucket used to carry back on the plantation, but Addy didn't complain. At last, she was going to Harriet's house. "Did you see Sarah today?" Harriet said in a mean voice. Her dress was so wrinkled it looked like she had slept in it. Mavis added, "and she had a big brown stain on the front of it." "Her mother is a washerwoman, and she can't even keep Sarah's clothes clean," said Harriet. All the girls laughed except Addy. "That's not funny," she said. "Her mom will work hard." She must not be working hard enough, because Sarah is a mess," Harriet said. "That don't matter," Addy said softly. Harriet said, "Of course it matters. Anyway, why do you care about Sarah, Addy? You're on our side now. At least your mother keeps you looking presentable, even if you do wear the same old dress every day. Don't you have any others?" "No," Addy said, swallowing hard. "Addy looks good enough to be our flunky, though," Mavis said. The girls all giggled. "That's true," Harriet said. "Sarah didn't, but you, Addy, you're a perfect flunky." Addy smiled weakly, but she had a sick feeling in her stomach. When the girls reached Mrs. Ford's shop, Harriet suddenly took her books from the pile Addy was carrying. Addy was confused. "Hey, I can go with y'all today," she said. "I can study at your house." Harriet. "I don't think so. Not today," Harriet said. "But the spelling match is tomorrow," Addy protested. Harriet shrugged. "Well, maybe you can come with us someday, but not today," she repeated. "Come on," she said to the other girls. They grabbed their books and hurried away, leaving Addy alone at the shop door. Addy stood there, unable to move. Finally, she ran up to the garret and threw herself on the bed. Her face had burned up. She had been stung by a swarm of bees. Sarah had been right. Harriet did not want to be Addy's friend. She just wanted Addy to be her slave. And even worse, Addy had chosen to be her slave. Addy reached for the cowrie shell Mama had given her and cried with shame. The next day was the day of the spelling match. When Addy woke up, Mama was already at the stove stirring a pot of grits. Addy got up and washed in a small basin beside the bed. She looked for a pink dress that Mama had always laid out for her on the back of the chair, but her dress wasn't there. In its place was a blue skirt and jacket trimmed in black braid and a crisp white shirt. I stood staring at them. "I made them out of some leftover cloth from the shop. I wanted you to look your best for the spelling match," Mama said, smiling. "You surprised?" "Oh, Mama, thank you," Addy said, throwing her arms around Mom. "They nicer than anything I ever dreamed about." Mama took the clothes off the chair and helped Addy dress. "I've been staying up late for weeks now working on them, hoping I could surprise you," said Mama, fastening her skirt. When Mama stood at the back to admire her new clothes, her dark eyes sparkled with pride. "Look at you. You look like a fancy city girl," Mama said. "No matter how you do in the spelling match, I'm going to be proud of you. You done work real hard. But as Addy walked to the school that morning in a new outfit, she didn't feel like she deserved new clothes. Once she got to school, the hours dragged slowly. Addy became more and more nervous during the morning lessons. When the spelling match finally started, her stomach felt queasy. Harriet was given the first word to spell, carriage. She rattled off the letters quickly. Carriage. Correct, Miss Dunn said. Sarah, you have the next word. Spell button. Button. Sarah spelled in a soft voice. Correct. Addy, it's your turn. Spell tomorrow. Addy started to spell the word quickly, just as Harriet had. Tomorrow. Then she stopped. This is one of the words she had trouble spelling. She stopped and thought. She knew she could spell this word again. She started again, this time more slowly. Tomorrow. Correct, Miss Dunn said. Addy breathed a sigh of relief. At least she couldn't find a mistake in the first round of the spelling match. Harriet leaned over and whispered, I'm going to win, and my mother said I can have friends over at school for ice cream to celebrate. She said I could bring 5 girls. I might ask you. Addy said nothing. Her stomach felt worse. After 2 rounds, half the class had missed a spelling word and had to sit down. Addy was glad that Sarah was still in the contest. Sarah's next word was account. Sarah began ACC, and then she paused. Addy closed her eyes. OUNT. She thought, come on, Sarah, you can do it. ACCOUNT. Sarah began again. ACCONT, she said. I'm sorry. Miss Dunn said, that's not correct. Addy's turn was next. She took a deep breath. She knew how to spell the word, but she didn't want to hurt Sarah anymore. She decided she would spell it wrong on purpose to apologize to Sarah. But before Miss Dunn called on Addy, Harriet whispered to her again, I can't believe Sarah missed such an easy one. She's so dumb. Addy felt a flash of anger. I'll show her, Addy thought. When Miss Dunn called on her, Addy spelled the word correctly. The spelling match went on into a 3rd round. Addy spelled bridge correctly. In the 4th round, she got scissors right. When the 5th round came, there were 2 spellers left, Harriet and Addy. Harriet had the first word. Principle, Miss Dunn said. We all live by our principles. Principle. PRINCIPLE, Harriet said quickly. I'm sorry, Miss Dunn said. That is not correct. The students started talking amongst themselves. Quiet, Mrs. Dunn demanded. Give Addy a chance to think in peace. Addy must spell the word correctly to win. Principle. Slowly and deliberately, Addy spelled out the letters. PRINCIPLE. Correct, Miss Dunn explained. She beamed with delight as she said, Miss Addy Walker, you have truly earned this prize. Miss Dunn came over and pinned a medal on her jacket. Your hard work has paid off, she said. Class, please clap for Addy. Boys and girls clapped and cheered. It was time for lunch by then, and Miss Dunn announced the class would eat outside because it was a warm day. Several girls rushed up to Addy to congratulate her before they left the classroom. Harriet stood at the edge of the group. Well, she said briskly, if I had studied at all, I would have beaten you. Anyway, Mrs. Dunn gave you easier words. You're just jealous, Harriet, Maeve said. Addy spelled the word you missed. I'm not jealous of her, Harriet shrugged. But Mavis was saying to Addy, you have on a pretty new outfit. Where'd your mother get it? She ain't buy it. She made it. Addy answered. It's so nice, Mavis said, touching her the braid on the jacket. I wish my mother could sew like this. Harriet cut into the conversation. We're eating on the steps if you want to join us. Come, she said to Addy. Come on, girls. Addy watched as Harriet and friends went outside. Then she sat at her desk, pretending she was looking for something. She felt a hand on her shoulder. It was Mrs. Dunn. This is a very special day for you, Addy. Why are you in here by yourself? The teacher asked. Addy kept rooting through her desk. I don't think you'll find what you're looking for inside that desk, Addy, Miss Dunn said. Addy still did not look up. Miss Dunn reached for Addy's hand. Addy, look at me, she said gently. Addy slowly looked up. I suspect you're feeling bad because lines have been drawn between some girls in class. Miss Dunn, Addy said, I don't know how to get rid of the lines. I done hurt Sarah, and I wouldn't blame her if she never spoke to me again. We all make mistakes, said Miss Dunn. I suspect you've learned a lesson about friendship, but we can't make things better by hiding in here. You need to think about what you stand for and act on it. Miss Dunn smiled at Addy and then left her alone. Addy took her lunch pail from the floor, opened the lid, and looked to see what Mama had packed. When she saw what was on top, she closed the lid and hurried out of the classroom. Addy went around to the side of the building. She stopped when she saw Sarah sitting alone under a small tree. Addy took a deep breath. Then she walked up to Sarah and knelt beside her. I'm so sorry, Sarah, Addy said. Please forgive me. I wanted to be friends with Harriet because she was smart and popular and rich. She ain't a real friend. I know you is. I never meant to hurt you. I still want you to be my friend. I still want to be your friend, Sarah said, smiling that sunny smile that Addy had seen the first day she and Mama arrived on the pier. Then Sarah reached out and touched Addy's medal. I wanted you to win so bad, Sarah said. I wanted you to win too. I was sad when you missed your word. She said, maybe we can start spelling together right now. She reached into her lunch pail, and then she reached 4 cookies Mom had made, each in the shape of a letter. Love. Love. Here, Addy said, holding the cookies on her outstretched hand. This is our first word. And that's the end of Addy Learns A Lesson. And thanks for listening. Goodbye.